It's dark outside and I've been up in this bitch getting fried. Welcome back to Bestie After Dark, where I tell your worst or most interesting dating, romance, and bedroom storytime submissions. As a reminder, if you would like to get your story to me, please visit ycbestie.com/bad, all lowercase, to fill out my form. If you would like to see all of Bestie After Dark all at once, you can visit my website to subscribe for early access on Saturdays and to support me as a creator, which I greatly appreciate. Bestie After Dark is also available for streaming on all major podcast platforms if you would rather listen to your gossip. The title of your After Dark story time is Bye Bye Hairline. I was with my ex, Pat, for 3 years. I built that man up from the ground. I gave him a place to stay, fed him, gave him clothes, got him a car, even with the extra mile to help him get a job. Not once, but twice. The first year of our relationship was the best year. We didn't argue or fight about anything, and he was kind, sweet, gentle, patient, and caring. Just such a gentleman. He genuinely made me feel like I was the only girl in the world to him. I felt like I met my best friend that I was going to spend the rest of my life with. But the second year started getting a little rocky, and I began noticing some inconsistency and dishonesty from him. Towards the end of the second year, I found out that he was cheating on me the entire time. And rather than crashing out and breaking up with him, I stayed with him and started plotting my revenge. By the third year, I was checked out and I did not have any feelings for this man. As I previously stated, I built this man from literally the ground up, and the barber that Pat went to had been trying to get to me, even though I was in a relationship with him. So after finding out he cheated on me through the entire duration of our relationship, I started cheating with RJ, his barber. Eventually, I noticed RJ catching feelings, so I convinced him to push Pat's hairline back each time he went to see him. I knew we were coming to it, but I just didn't know how. I thought it was gonna be Nair in his shampoo, I swear to you. Gradually is diabolical. His shit is fucked up eternally now. When I got to the point to where you could notice that his hairline was being pushed back, I told Pat I didn't find myself attracted to him anymore. And I broke up with him! How many appointments did this take, girl? Please tell me. Please let me know. He begged and pled for me to not leave him, but after I told him that I knew about the cheating, he started acting like he'd never cared about me or the relationship. So I told him I'd been fucking his barber and that I was the one responsible for his fucked up hairline getting all pushed back. When I tell you that that man was sick, crying, saying I ruined his life, moral of the story is, don't fuck over the girl that's trying to help you build your life up.
Brother, got him!
Yeah. But also, I know that he was doing the kind of crying where like there was spit coming out of his mouth and shit. At least for that period of time, that man really thought that you ruined his fucking life, girl. And hey, don't hate the player, hate the game. And I need y'all to know, mind you, the frat man is here right now. So, okay, if you have just found me on YouTube, all of my friends and family, loved ones, etc., for the most part, have nicknames on my page, first and foremost. And when he and I started dating, I make gossip videos on social media and like lifestyle comedy and stuff. And so I made a video about having gone out with this frat boy, and gradually, now that we've been together, we call him the frat man now. And anyways, he's literally right here, bro. Laying on the floor. I just wanted to let y'all know that. That's a good man right there.
Aww. So cute!
The title of your After Dark story time is More Puke?
Hell no, man. What the fuck?
With a question mark. I saw that you had a lot of submissions featuring guys and vomit in, you know, those kinds of situations. Gross. Well, I'm a lesbian, and a former partner of mine also had a thing for puke. While attempting to get her to a big O, I would have to forcibly and loudly fake gagging in order for her to get there every time. Now, I'm not one to shame, but ew. And she never attempted to actually get me off, which was fine. I think that the puke stuff was enough of a turnoff for me.
Damn!
How long were you guys together? Like, I get maybe twice. A part of me wants to extend kindness to like 3 times. But like, how the fuck long was this going on for? Because also the fact that she wasn't seemingly interested in like reciprocating towards you, babe, next time we're gonna try this thing called getting the fuck up out of there, okay? The title of your After Dark story time is I Accidentally Dated a Head Who Stalked Me. All right, bestie, buckle up. I also live in North Carolina. Hey, twin. I was 17 years old when I met this guy, and he was 20. We started talking in November of 2019. Immediately, he was extremely possessive right off the bat. We hadn't met in person, and he would question me about who I was posting on my Snapchat, etc. Well, he keeps talking to me, bonding over our shared interests. He offers to hang out with me, and I told him not now. I was busy. I put it off until December of 2019. First time we hung out, he brought his baby over. Everything went well, nothing happened. He ended up coming over and spending the night at a later date in December, and we did it. I lost my V card to him, and he didn't last long, and it kind of sucked. So I ended up cutting him off January 1st, 2020, because that was just a bad experience, and I felt like I didn't like him like that. So months go by, and on April 1st, he literally sent me a friend request on Snapchat because I had deleted him, and I accepted it like an idiot. We immediately started talking, and he was like, do you remember that we did it? And I was like, well, duh, because what the fuck would you ask me that for? Then he told me, like, he remembered how my bedroom was set up, and somehow this didn't raise a red flag to me because I was a dumb 17-year-old girl. So we start texting all day, every day, and eventually we start dating on April 28th, 2020. Immediately from the start, it was absolute love bombing. His kid is now over a year old, and he was saying shit like he wished I was the kid's mom.
Huh?
He eventually told me that he hit the bag from time to time. And I was like, oh? But I still stayed. Bestie, he lied. Eventually, I went over to his house. He still lived with his mom. And we had to sneak out of his house in the middle of the night so that he could bring me to a fucking trap. I sit on this lady's couch who opens the trap, and she was a 40-year-old something lesbian. She looked at me and she was like, oh, you're really pretty. How old are you? And I was thinking that I should lie, but he spoke up and he said she's 17.
FBI, open up!
And this old guy who was there hitting the pipe was like, why are you 20 dating a 17-year-old? Clock it. But the woman kept hitting on me, and then my boyfriend was just busy doing hard and literally doing it in front of me, and he said, hope you don't mind. Well, actually, bitch, yes, I do. So obviously I'm pissed. The next day I go home and he's blowing up my phone. I was an idiot and I took him back. You were young. In 2020 feels like it was not that long ago, but it actually was. I actually used to live in a trap that specialized in hard. And girl, but I get it because I was also 17 at the time and dumb. I was 17 and he was 21. Stupid. He wasn't hitting the hard, I will say that. But I don't know, really if it would have swayed me that much because I was dumb. Not to call you dumb, but God damn. Yeah, you being from North Carolina too. Oh, girl. How long did you take him back for? Please don't say a long time. Please don't say a long time. Next day I go home and he's blowing up my phone. I was an idiot and I took him back. We broke up every other day and he cheated on me twice. I was stupid as hell. He turned 21 in June. One day he slapped me because I found out that he was cheating on me with a 15-year-old. Bestie, I let him come live with me after 3 months of dating. So he moves in, sells his car, sells his phone, and drives around in my grandma's sister's car. He sold his phone out of spite because he thought I was cheating on him, so it forced us to share a phone. He would spend his whole social security check because he was disabled from having been shot. Stupid as hell, I know. So once we move in, we argue all of the fucking time. He was very insecure and jealous. He would get mad if a guy would just like my profile picture on Facebook. He wouldn't let me have friends. He was even jealous of my dad calling me since I didn't live with my dad. He was also extremely abusive to me the whole time. Mentally, there are many instances where he forced me to do things that I did not want to do with him. He saw where my ex-boyfriend texted me saying that he was still in love with me, and I said, oh well, I have a boyfriend now, shutting the guy down, but he still choked me over it. Well, eventually I break up with him because I had enough, so I kick him out of my house and I go move in with my dad. Eventually I moved back home with my mom after a month in October near my 18th birthday, and as soon as I got home, a fake Facebook account had added me. I brushed it off as weird until the next day when he drove by my house. He did this for months and months on end, until eventually he started knocking on my windows late at night, getting his friends to contact me, and he was still making fake accounts to talk to me. He would even threaten to handle his business and mine. He did this from October 2020 until 2022. I was engaged to my now husband and I was pregnant with my first child. He ended up passing in 2022 as well. Did something happen to stop it? Like, sorry, that's like very intrusive, but like, did it stop organically or did it stop because he passed? That is so much. And I'm so glad that you're okay and that you're like living your life and on your own terms and completely in your own control, because girl, not us being twins. That sucks. That is so crazy. The title of your After Dark story time is Why I'll Never Do Feet Again. I dated a guy who was really into feet. As an understanding person, I never yucked someone else's yum, and it was never anything too weird until that day. As a girly, I love my fuzzy socks for the wintertime to lounge around the house, especially since most of my house is hardwood that stays very cold in the winter. And I noticed one day I could never find the matching set to my fuzzy socks. One was always missing.
No! God, please, no! No!
I looked everywhere for at least one match to my socks. It was no big deal, so I just grabbed a mismatched set and I moved on. Eventually, my boyfriend and I split up, and it was after that when I started finding my matches. I was thrilled. So I slid my feet in, and they were crusty. No! Why were they crusty? He had been using them, would finish in them, and then hide them. By this time, he had blocked me, so I never had confirmation, but he was weird about feet. Listen, in my time hosting Bestie After Dark, what I can tell you is feet people, they got their own shit going on, you know, whatever. It's the fucking sock people that are odd, bro. And maybe it's a symptom, like maybe they're related, but what I have found is, like, it's one thing, I guess, to like live feet or whatever, but like the sock stealers, that is the equivalent of being a panty sniffer. Am I crazy? Not a panty sniffer, a panty stealer, and then sniffer. It just strikes me as being very odd. Like, not to yuck anyone's yum. That's why we're all fucking here. Let's be honest. Like, but the sock people, it's like feet people are kind of whatever. Some of them are very audacious, but the sock people are the ones that got some like secretive freaky shit going on. Interestingly, wedgie people I don't even want to say it, bro. They're all going to show up and be like, hey, no, bye. Stay away from people that like socks, okay? No offense to the sockies or whatever. Or just be honest about it. Just be like, yes, I love just spewing it all in your fucking socks. Like, don't steal her socks. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Don't steal their socks and fucking finish in them and hide them in crevices and shit. What's wrong with you? You're a grown adult man.
Yeah, but also, she should have washed them.
But I hope she washed them after. Well, yeah, maybe you should have washed it before you put it on. No victim blaming. But this is just... Yeah, the entire sock community is gonna, like, form an uprising against me. But it's worth it because, like, stop doing that. It is... not to be, like, overly woke. Not to, like, open up the fucking woke parade or whatever.
Don't splooge in socks.
Well, no, at least you need her consent to do that, bro. Or something. You're in pick some of the bad socks at least! At least! Talk to her. Maybe she's like, here, I have these fucking shitty socks. Have them. Like, but just this? Oh my God, I'd be so mad. I'd be livid. The title of your After Dark story time is Your Wedgie TikTok. This is crazy I'm saying this, but one time my boyfriend ripped my underwear completely off of me because he wanted to do it ASAP, I guess. I honestly thought it was hot, so now it's just been a thing.
Huh?
Is that really, does that qualify as a wedgie? It sounds like he's just like ripping your shit. Is he like ripping them up and off of you though? Like through the lips, through cheeks? You got a strong ass cooter if he's going upwards like that. The title of your After Dark story time is Faked His Own Passing. We'll call him A for this short story. A comes into my job for 2 or 3 days in a row, flirting and all kinds of fun stuff. We get each other on Snapchat and I notice his profile has no personal information that I can go off of to figure him out. He comes to the house, you know, we garden, he gets some top, and he goes on about his day over probably 4 to 5 more times. We do the deed easily 10-ish times in this week before he leaves the state for another job. Flash forward about 3 months, I'm scrolling Facebook and I see a post from his fiance. He faked his passing 3 years ago, and I've seen him and I have him on my home security footage very much alive and well very recently. Part of me wants to reach out and tell her, but I also don't want to bring that girl that kind of pain. What do I do?
Okay.
Immediate question. We're just gonna roll with my initial immediate thoughts. Same name? Question mark? Like, is he using the exact same name, the exact same everything? When you, like, what details do you have about this? Does that make sense? You, low-key, if you see this, reach out to me, because I like knowing shit. I'm very nosy.
What? No way.
Did he fake his own passing just to her? Or was this like everybody? Like, does she live nearby? How did this is just astounding, and I have so many more questions. The title of your After Dark story time is Armpit Man. What up, bestie? Listen, this all started in October of last year. My ex-boyfriend broke up with me in July on my lunch break from work on a Thursday. He said he didn't think he would ever love me, and he dipped. So I cried for about 2 months. I realized I was a bad bitch, and I hopped on Tinder so I could hop on some D. I live in very northern British Columbia, Canada, and I see this gorgeous man on Tinder. 6'4", born and raised in Arizona. He has a house with a pool here, and I think, hell yes. Let's call him Alex. Alex and I text for a week or two, all normal. He seems like a normal dude. We actually accidentally run into each other in the bar one night randomly, so I go back to his house after and we hook up. It was pretty normal. It was very vanilla, nothing freaky, and that is important for later. We do this for about 2 weeks. I would go to his house, we would garden, do it, and go. Come. Life's great. Again, it was all pretty vanilla. Halloween weekend, I leave Saturday morning at the crack of dawn with my friends to go to Calgary for a concert. This man is texting me the entire time. I miss you so much. Please come back soon, please. All kinds of simp shit. Anyways, I come home Sunday and I go straight to bed as I'm violently hungover. Monday rolls around and I'm still extremely hungover. This man texts me at 9 a.m. and goes, I have something to ask you. I really want to try something in the bedroom. Okay, whatever. I'm a pretty open person, but this bitch says to me, I want to do your armpit. Now I'm still extremely hungover, and I have to read this text twice to make sure I read that right. Now, curiosity got the best of me, and I asked how that would work. He wanted me, stark ass naked, sitting on the edge of the bed, hand on my hip, with him actually pumping my armpit. Now listen, we don't shame in this house. Y'all always say that, and I always take a pause because sometimes we do. I don't know if this is gonna be one of them, but whatever floats your boat. I tell him very kindly that's not something I'm into, and he immediately starts calling me derogatory names, and he immediately gets blocked. He then proceeds to keep calling me names on all of my social medias. I'm talking Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, fucking Visco. I block him on everything. He then proceeds to show up at my work, and thank God for my coworkers. They kick him out and they ban him. I haven't heard from him since, and I'm still not over this. But I do have a new buddy who isn't the brightest, but my God, he is gorgeous, and most importantly, he doesn't want to put it in my armpit. The title of your After Dark story time is Therapy. Hey Bestie, I've never made a bad story before, so I apologize if I'm not doing it well. But, well, I had this therapist named Alondra, and we had a complicated relationship. She was pretty unprofessional, and at first, when she started talking about another client and complaining about her, I got up and I walked away because, she was there for me to talk to her, not for her to talk to me. But a few months later, I would enjoy when she had those ADHD moments, as she called them, because I liked being someone she felt comfortable enough to be herself around. And also her smile was really pretty when she talked about something that she enjoyed talking about, so I let her talk. I had another therapist at the time anyways, so I could just tell that therapist what I needed to. Okay. She would talk about other clients, talk about her exes and other stuff I'm not going to put in here in case this story gets picked to protect her privacy, I guess. But I was in love with her. She would touch my arm almost every session, and one time she asked what would make me feel loved, and when I said physical touch, she poked my arm and said, well, what else would make you feel loved? And when I said to feel understood, she said that she understands me. Another time, she called me Bestie while running her fingers from my shoulder down to my forearm and smiling when she was introducing me to someone who was job shadowing. I remember for the whole time I liked her, I was so nervous about telling her because I didn't want to lose her. In the week between our last session and what I thought would be our next session, I'd finally built up the courage to tell her, but then I get a text from her boss the day before what I thought would be our next session about how she's no longer working there, and I miss her a lot, and I keep trying to move on. Then I get rejected, and I realize I don't care because I actually want her. And this is my story on how my therapist crossed boundaries with me, how I fell in love because of that, and how I can't move on. And I guess the moral of the story is, if you like someone or are in love with them, tell them, because even if they don't feel the same, at least you know. But in this case, she probably did feel the same. And now I will probably never talk to her again because I was too scared of losing her, when maybe if I had told her, I wouldn't have. So if you have feelings for someone, let them know. I'm glad that you are already in a position where you're aware that, that behavior is inappropriate from your therapist or from a mental health professional, and that boundaries were absolutely crossed, and that could have an impact on your feelings, just that alone. I think that you need to talk to your other therapist about this. I think you need to be 100% open and honest about this whole situation, about your feelings, and that is the way that you move forward. Because right now it seems like you are just kind of internalizing all of this into this really overwhelming freak out. And it is definitely triggering some additional abandonment issues and other things. I think that you need to lean into the other team of support that you have, because it is possible that you have kind of zeroed in on this relationship, and it's, regardless of what it is, who it is, whatever, right? Even if this were not your therapist and you were not a client, it's important that your whole world not revolve around your relationship with someone else. And so I think that this is worth you exploring on a deeper level too, because it's one thing to miss someone. It's another thing to miss the idea of them, right? Thank you so much for joining me for another beautiful week of Bestie After Dark, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye!